Right, good afternoon guys, welcome back to the Rangers Wire podcast number 2. I'm your host Gary, I'm joined by Dylan. Dylan, how you doing mate?
All good mate, all good, thanks for having me.
Aye, not a problem mate. So obviously we'd have had Dex normally, but Dex is currently in Ibiza and he's unresponsive to say the least. So straight into it then, talk about this week. We've got match action, a friendly match behind closed doors that took place, transfer links, upcoming friendlies and some hot takes at the end. Right, so what's happened since the last pod? Right, so Rangers beat Dunfermline 3-1 behind closed doors. Goals from Nadiri, Majolski and Diamandi. Obviously, none of us have seen the friendly, Dylan, but it's still good to get after, no matter how even it's a friend, it's still good to win, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. It's pre-season, so it's just about getting minutes as well, isn't it? So
exactly. Some people are split with this. There's certain things where I say, when pre-season's not going so well, I'll say, it's all about minutes in the legs, but secretly inside, I want to win friendlies. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think the results important pre-season, or do you think it's minutes in the legs?
No, it's definitely important. You want to build a good foundation going into the season. But I think, especially early on, you're definitely just looking at more getting minutes and letting the new players find their feet.
Aye, absolutely, mate. I think it's probably the more important friendlies are coming up. In Spain, that'll be a good workout, and we'll touch on the friendlies out there. But if you rewind a year ago under Russell Martin at this stage, we actually lost, I believe it was 1-0 to TNS in a closed-door friendly, which was it's a sign for things to come. So obviously talk about friendlies, teams jetted to Spain today, so there'll be a lot of fallout coming for that. So upcoming friendlies, so the St Etienne friendly was confirmed, and that's the 22nd of July. You got to that?
I'm not myself, no. I'm actually away on holiday over that, so I'm going to miss it.
Nice, mate. Nice. Take the wee man. He doesn't know yet, though. But just an interesting point. I don't suppose you've done a tour to Ibrox recently?
I haven't done it in a couple of years now, no.
I'm the same, but I don't know if you ever remember, see the bike that's there? It's quite random, a bike in the trophy room.
I do, I know it very well, yep.
So, I don't know why, but for years I thought it was for Leon for some weird reason. I don't know where I read that. Now, obviously it turns out it's from St Etienne. I done a wee bit of research. It was from a 1957, planets ago. We played St Etienne the European Cup, and they put us out. But interestingly, we put them again in 1975, and then they gave us a French miner's lamp. So, quite random gifts there. So that's that friendly. Looking forward to that. It'll be the first time that the fans will get to actually see a Derek McInnes side, because I believe all the friends in Spain so far are going to be behind closed doors. And talking about Spain, we're playing the Kaiser Chiefs, and that's on the 12th of July. What are you doing the 12th of July, Dylan?
I will be definitely having a few beers, so will be.
Aye, I bet you will be. So yeah, good test. Kaiser Chiefs, that strikes me. I don't really know much about them, but they always, when I say think of Kaiser Chiefs, I always think of the old FIFA, rest of the world clubs. So I don't know too much about them, but it's definitely a good test. And it'll set us up for the season and bigger matches to come. Other news, season tickets completely sold out. Are you surprised at that? No?
Absolutely not. Season after season, the fans show up. Just hopefully this season the players can match the ambition by the fans.
Aye, absolutely. Maybe we deserve it, don't we? And are you confident this season?
Yeah, I actually surprisingly am. I usually am most times during pre-season, but I think this year just has a different wee spark to it that I'm definitely just looking forward to the season starting now.
I'm the same. I don't think there's ever a season where I go into and I'm like, I'm not sure this season, or it's a big rebuild this season. We have rebuilds every season, but I think there's something different about this season. Just we obviously McInnes coming in, Shankland, and the players that were brought in, leaders, the players we're linked with. It's all very positive, and it's a clear identity being shaped, as I alluded to in last week's podcast. In other news, McGregor officially signed as the lead goalkeeping coach. You happy with that one?
Yeah, it's not very often you get excited about a goalkeeper coach, like, is it? But
exactly.
I think having someone with his experience and he knows the club inside out will just do absolute wonders for the players.
I don't think you can hurt having him in the background. And I'm just going to read some of his key quotes from his press conference, interview, he did another day. He says, "I'm really excited to be back and to be joining the club's coaching staff. everyone knows what the club means to me, so to have an opportunity to return and help the club in the present and future is a real privilege. Rangers is a club that demands the very highest standards, and looking forward to getting started, work with the players and staff, and seeing what we can achieve together. I mean, even just the quotes, and we know Alan McGregor, that's definitely the kind of the mentality that's needed. Obviously, you need to want to be there, contribute, and he's certainly one of the guys, isn't he?
Definitely. As I say, there's no one that knows the demands day in, day out than Alan McGregor will. And I think it's just even a big like standing point, the fact that we've brought him in as well so early. And obviously I know that we need to bring someone in, but to bring someone of his experience and knows the club, and I'm really excited to see how this one goes.
Aye, so am I. It'd be good to see him back again. And next, so we're just going to jump onto, this is quite the meaty part here, transfer talk. So I've got transfer talk here, I've done some research this morning, but since that research, quite a lot's happened, and I'm going to touch on that first because it's kind of more breaking news as such, is the Cammy Devlin story. I don't know if you were following that today.
Yes, I've not long just seen it there on social media and stuff that he's more or less not going back to Hearts, confirmed, and I say that we seem to be sniffing around. And
do you like Cammy Devlin?
Yeah, I thought he was one of the best players in the league prior to his injury, and he's someone I would happily get it. We'd love to see at Rangers.
And what would he bring if Rangers do sign him? Because I mean, it's reported on Sky Sports News that Rangers are interested. What would he bring to the Rangers midfield that we don't currently have, if anything?
I think it's just his energy, and I do actually see leadership skills there as well. He seems to just be everywhere anytime you watch him. He just box to box absolutely everywhere. So,
and that's what I found. Seeing we played them. When Rangers played Hearts last season, he was everywhere. When he was over the park, he was making challenges at our defensive areas, making challenges in his own box. He was everywhere, just fighting fires over the park. And I think it's something that we've not had that in a long time, have we?
No, definitely not. You have to go back a good few years before you had a player of his strengths. But he's someone I just have so much joy in watching, especially watching him in Hearts last year. I generally thought any time he played, he was head and shoulders one of the best players in the pitch week in, week out. So, and he obviously has the league experience as well. That's fairly playing in the league, so I don't see it being a bad transfer at all if he can get over the line.
What would that mean for Conor Barron then, do you think, if anything?
I would say, listening to the talks and reading all the articles and stuff, it looks like he'd be on his way out. As I'd say, they're quite similar in their play style as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say if we're bringing him in, I would say that would be Conor Barron on his way out.
Aye, I think they are quite similar in terms of energetic tackling midfielders, but I think Cammy Devlin just get that wee bit more personality about him.
Yeah, definitely. If you ask me who I'd rather, I'd be saying Devlin all day, and that's just my opinion. Like so.
Aye, I'd be the same, mate. I think that a lot of the Rangers fan base would probably be similar in thinking that. Another one, not so good news on the transfer front though, is Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore been linked with a move to Dortmund. Did you see him coming back? Did you think it was possible?
At the end of last season, I generally thought we had a very good chance of keeping him for another season. If I take my Rangers hat off, I think the Dortmund move could be a good one for him. Well, more for Spurs and what they're trying to give him. So I would say it's going to be very unlikely now, but I'm still keeping hope because he was definitely one of my favourites to watch last season.
I mean, even at a young age, he was like, in my opinion, he was one of the few guys who'd actually run at you with the ball. A lot of the Rangers last season, we would turn back in, pass it, especially the wingers. There was nobody that would take their man on apart from Mikey Moore towards the end of that season anyway. But we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll obviously hope for the best towards the end of the window, I think. Because if that is going to happen, it would be, I think, towards the end of the window. Talking about wingers, actually, I seen a report today. Again, I'm not 100% if this is accurate. There's a lot of talk about Czerny coming back over a number of weeks. I seen today from Turkey, and you take everything from Turkey with a pinch of salt, that there was a £6 million bid rejected from Rangers.
Yeah, it sort of just shows you as well where we're standing, that we're still willing to pay big money here. We seem to be linked with players nearly every other day now, and bids seem to be going in, which is, as you say, you can't believe everything you read, but hopefully it's true, and it'd be another player that I definitely would love to see back in a Rangers jersey.
Absolutely, I would absolutely. It was hands down the best winger at the club last season. Another few players, so 3 players we're going to touch on here, because these ones I think there's something to them. A wee bit of substance behind it. Is Jens Yerto Dahl, if I said that right, central midfielder, 6'4", big boy, box to box, young, a lot of learning to do still, but very highly thought of in Norway. Is that somebody you'd like to see playing at Rangers?
Definitely. I don't know a lot about him. I haven't obviously watched a lot of him, but from the clips I've seen, he looks like a very good player. Obviously still very young as well, but I would really like to see a bit more of him before I would say any more, to comment anymore. But he definitely ticks all the boxes if you read into him, like.
Aye, no, yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, because he's not exactly coming for 500,000. He's actually valued currently transfer market at 8.2 million, which is quite substantial. So I'm the same as you with that one. I think I'd need to see a wee bit more. And then, but by all accounts, it sounds like so there was other teams' interest, but it sounds like there's actually something in this. So we'll keep an eye on that one. So another centre midfielder, for some reason we're linked with every midfielder in the world right now, is Ryan Fossel. Now I don't suppose you know much about the Sturmgras midfielder, but again, similar. He's a solid defensive midfielder. He's known for his tackling, his positional discipline. And the difference here with him is he's valued at 1.7 million. And he's experienced at a good level. He's 24, so he's a wee bit older, a wee bit more experienced. Have you heard anything about that one?
Again, I'm sort of on the same page here. I haven't watched off a lot of them. But again, I think there's more to read into this as well, with why we seem to be linked with a lot of midfielders. Does that mean that there's going to be a lot of midfielders going out the door? But it's, again, a slightly cheaper price range, which I'm not against, by the way, because I don't want to spend loads on a player that we don't know a lot about. But he definitely does seem a very, very highly rated player anyway. So it'd be interesting to see where this goes.
Absolutely, and I'm just going to go off topic here then, because we're talking about certain midfielders. See where these links in. What do you think the future is for Diamandi? Because at times I thought Diamandi in the big games, I thought sometimes was really good, but he's inconsistency a lot of time through the season. Do you think McInnes is doing a full overhaul of midfield, and that means that guys like Barron that we spoke about and Diamandi might end up leaving in the summer?
Yeah, it definitely seems that way if you're reading into it. Diamandi is one of them players who I loved watching, especially in the big games. He always seemed to turn up in the big games when other players maybe didn't. But I do think it's maybe a time to let all these players go and have a full rebuild. So I definitely think there's going to be an overload of players going out the door.
I know, absolutely. And the next one I'm going to speak about is Diawara. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his first name, but big centre back, tall, athletic, modern defender, 20-year-old, so a young guy for the future, 6'2", and again, transfer market is valued at 1.7 million. Left-footed centre back, which is quite important. So I do think we need a bit of depth. Not just depth, but I do actually think we need another centre back, because depending on what happens, especially with Big Fernandes, you happy with that link, left-sided centre back?
Absolutely. I think we've been crying out we definitely are crying out now for centre half. And again, he seems to be ticking all the right boxes. So it'll just be interesting to see if we can keep our current centre halves, or if we're going to need to get another one or two in as well on top of him.
And the news again, Dragojevic, I feel this has been on for a wee while now. So it was reported that the Rangers got a bid rejected of 4.3 million. So I believe they value him his club value him at just under £6 million. So you'd like to think if Rangers wanted them, meet him somewhere in the middle. Again, don't know a lot about him. Just seen online, read reports. He's a captain at 20-year-old. Certainly the profile we want to go for, is it not?
Absolutely. I have done a bit of research here on him himself, and he seems to be very well liked over there. He's got a lot of experience for a young lad, and as I say, I think that's exactly what we need. We need players who are going to come and be able to take the demands and the responsibility of playing for Rangers. So I'm actually quite excited for this one.
I echo that. And I think that's something that we really missed last season. And it was well documented having leaders there. I think it was something that really let us down, especially in that split. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I say there was definitely a lot of games where you needed big players to step up, and sometimes you just need a couple of players with the experience and the character to grab the lads around them and to calm them down when they need to and speed things up. But that just needs to come from a few, maybe doesn't need to be a senior player, it just needs to be someone with that ability to captain us or to lead us from the front.
Aye. And I think as much as good for Tavernier was his goals and lead by example, he was never that guy either. So yep, look forward to the future of having a team full of leaders hopefully. So next, just going to speak here, okay, is Penrice. So Penrice was heavily linked with Rangers, left back, used to play with Hearts, very good player, big fan of him, but he's now been linked with a move to Blackburn and Middlesbrough, and I believe, I might be wrong here, but I believe the fee was quoted around the £2 million mark. Is that not something you think that we should maybe be looking at?
Absolutely. I say that we seem to have the money there to spend, but I think going to be the drama in this window now is going to be getting players out the door for the wage bill, because we seem to have a lot of players in the books. So until we start getting players out the door, I think that's going to maybe slow us down a wee bit on potentially signing people as well. But he's absolutely somebody again who knows the league, and it's something that we've been crying out for years, is to sign players who know the league. So it's definitely someone who, again, I'd love to see the Rangers jersey.
So we've signed 5 players confirmed so far. How many do you see realistic in total for this window? Are we going into double figures?
I would love to see double figures. So I would. I really do think we need a clear out, and we need a lot of new fresh faces in the door. I would say we're definitely looking at another 4 or 5 at least. So it's definitely exciting times as well. Every day there's new links and there's new stuff going on every day. It's quite an exciting time to be a Rangers fan, isn't it?
Aye, absolutely. It just feels different now than it did in previous seasons. So on to the last kind of part of the podcast this week, I want to speak about is hot takes. Okay, so this is stuff I've seen on social media with other fans, and it's like topics that it splits people basically. And the first one is Dan Neil has been brought in to be the new captain. Now there was an article on Sky Sports News, and his former Sunderland teammate said that he believes that he will be going up there, expecting to be one of the names in the hat at least. What would you think about bringing somebody like Danny Wynn, putting him captain straight away? Would you be a fan of that? Would you be against that?
Usually I don't like new players coming in and taking over the captaincy straight away. But if you read into him and you look at what he's like, he was this big Sunderland man, and he took the expectations he took them in week in, week out, and he was leading for a long time at Sunderland. I would absolutely not have an issue with this. He's definitely somebody who seems to speak very well and seems to be very good around the lads, only in a short period of time already. So I'm definitely all for it.
Aye, I think he would be in the hat definitely. What I'm thinking about is what made him choose Rangers over Southampton. I mean, he said he wants to play for a big club, but it means a lot. It's passionate. But was there an extra offer there? What was the next incentive there? I.e. the captaincy. I mean, we're not going to know for a couple of weeks now, but whoever it is, I'm sure we'll back him anyway, and it'll not just be up to the one captain. We should hopefully, the way it's shaping up, have a team with numerous leaders, at least. The next hot take is that McCrory has been brought in as the primary right back and Sterling will be backup. What do you say about
that? Yeah, again, absolutely think it's spot on. We all know how good Sterling can be on his day. Absolutely powerhouse of a fullback. And he also gives you the cover at centre half as well. But especially the last years, his injuries are just it's hard to rely on a player with that many injuries. And I think Ross McCoy would absolutely fit in there at right back.
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because like you say, he's on his day, Sterling he's phenomenal in the big games. You know, he's solid, but he just can't stay fit. If he could somehow change his training regime, I don't know, and get him fit, then I would absolutely like Sterling ahead of McCrory myself, but I don't see that happening because it's not happened yet. So again, I'm sure that'll take shape over pre-season in the coming weeks. The next one is that Raskin stays at Rangers. Can you see that happening?
I definitely see it happening. I don't think he's down to get out the door. I think he's happy either way. I do think he's got a lot of unfinished business at Rangers. He's a player that does seem to give us all every week, and that's firstly all we can ask for. I think it's all going to depend on who we bring in. As I say, we seem to be linked with a lot of midfielders, so does that maybe tell you that he could be on his way out, and is that going to release some more funds for us to spend?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think there is a lot of interest in him, especially with his World Cup displays, and obviously Belgium kick off tonight. I've not seen the lineup yet, but hopefully he's starting. He should be starting. I don't see him at Rangers next season. I just think the interest is too great in him in the spotlight right now in the World Cup.
I've just seen the teams who he is starting, which is again another plus. Exactly. So if they have a good game and they can get through the next round.
Just keep adding to that value. So we'll watch that one over the coming weeks. The next one is so everybody's talking about Shankland and Chermiti, the partnership and the goals, but the one that people's not mentioned as much is Ryan Nadiri, who's now scored 2 goals and 2 behind closed doors pre-season. Now when Nadiri came, he was injured, remember, last season, and I think he potentially rushed himself back, got injured again, and he was kind of playing catch up. Can you see Nadiri being a key part, one of the first names of the team sheet this season?
Absolutely. I'm an absolute big fan of him. Watching him a few times last season. I just thought he has all the right attributes, and just I think he hit the nail on the head there. I think he rushed himself back, which isn't always a bad thing. He's a new player coming in, and he just shows that he wants to play for Rangers and he wants to show what he can do. But I'm absolutely backing him to be one of our key players for next season.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be interesting. I think watching him last season, he gives you absolute energy. He's fit, he's strong, he's tall, physical. He's kind of got a full package here. But I felt that at times last season he was just missing the goals. And by all means, he started this pre-season with goals. So if you can add the goals to how the flashes that we've seen, I think we'll get a real player on our hands. And it's good that we're talking about positive things going into next season, which is obviously a bonus. Unlike last season, we were speaking about the poor pre-season and the types of players that we were bringing in. So to that end, then we'll shelf it now. That's quite short and sharp this week. I just want to say thanks for listening, and especially thanks for the feedback from the previous podcast, which has actually done really well. It's over 200 downloads, surprisingly, for the first podcast. And I would like to invite anybody who's downloading it to put your comments there, hot takes, etc., and I'll discuss it next week's pod because I really want everybody to be part of this. And we'll, hopefully in the next episode, there'll be a lot more to talk about, especially with transfers, because everything's evolving very fast now, as you've seen just this morning with the Cammy Devlin, the Cherny, etc., etc. So thanks for Dylan, thanks for coming on, and hopefully we can find Dex for next week.